Good afternoon, folks. Ari here from Direct Auto Outlet in Fair Oaks, California. Nearly 20 years set these two Lexus GXs apart, so is it evolution or is it revolution? Here we have a 2023 Lexus GX 460 Blackline Edition, and here we have a 2004 Lexus GX 470. 19 years approximately, almost 20 years set these two apart. These might be more similar than you would imagine. Let's go ahead and take a quick walk around each. You'll see actually how similar they are. Now, in pretty much every other country in the world, these are referred to as the Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Here in the United States, we label it as Lexus. Perhaps that allows us to be able to charge a little bit more. I'm not sure. It's probably more marketing than anything else, but these two vehicles have more in common than you would think. This has to be one of the slowest evolving vehicles on planet Earth. But then again, when you have something right, why change it? Only really one body style change between these vehicles that occurred in model year 2010. Since then, they've had little facelifts here and there, some different changes from the insides, outsides, infotainment systems, but really no major changes. 2003, the first year, and it is still in production now at 2023. One body style change in 2010. These two vehicles are more similar than you could imagine. They both have a 109-inch wheelbase. They both have a 23-gallon fuel tank. The fuel economy is practically identical. Their towing capacities are both 6,500 pounds. The newer one over here, the 2023, is about 4 inches longer. However, they have a very similar width and height, and about 450 pounds sets them apart as far as weight goes. The older one here does lack about 60 horsepower, but with the weight reduction in the older one, you really wouldn't know it. They feel surprisingly the same when you drive them. Only less than 10 pound-feet of torque difference between them. Ground clearance is almost identical. In the older unit here, the 2004, you have 8.3 inches of ground clearance, where you have only 8.1 inches of ground clearance. However, where that might be a little bit more evident is at the departure and approach angles. As you can see over here on the newer one, you do have a bumper that does go down a little bit further than the old one. When you're approaching a big rock or a boulder going off-roading, you're going to find that you're going to slap that bottom of that front bumper onto an object a lot faster than you're going to do so over here. Also, looking at the distance between the tire and the tip of the bumper, you can see this one actually protrudes out a little bit more than the older unit. So with those two things said, the older one would actually have a slight advantage over the newer model as far as approach angle is concerned. Departure angle in the back, they're going to actually be pretty identical. You actually might have a slight advantage just by visually looking at the newer one. However, I haven't looked up the specs, but the distance for the departure angle in the rear is going to be very close. I would say it's going to be nearly identical. If the newer one has an advantage, it's probably really only going to be because it is not equipped with that tow hitch that actually sticks out a little bit further. Now, as you can see, the rear end of these are surprisingly, shockingly similar. Practically the same tail lights, same body lines. If you look at the A-pillars, B-pillars, C-pillars, you'll see that they are so similar to one another. I'm going to go ahead and elevate myself here to get a better angle. You can see how similar they are. Starting out with the front, A-pillars, B-pillars in the middle, C-pillars, roof racks. Looking at the back, the shape of the vehicle, shape of the glass. New one does look a little bit beefy, but I believe actually the old one does have quite a bit of charm. The spindle grille that's in the newer model, it's either a love it or hate it kind of thing. I really didn't like it when it first came out, but much like many things do, it does grow on you. I do like that the front end does have an aggressive look to it, whereas this one is a little bit more conservative. They did their best to make it look a little bit more sporty, and they've achieved that. And of course, these wheels are not standard, they're not stock. The vehicle did come with a set of 18-inch black stock wheels. I replaced them with TRD wheels, 17-inch, 17x7s, and put some BF Goodrich tires on it. So that did give it a little bit of a beefier look. This 2004 does still have its original wheels, and it's wrapped in Michelin Defender LTX tires, which are very good tires, long-lasting tires. They actually typically rot out faster than they wear out. Let's go ahead and take a look at inside on both of them. We'll go ahead and start with the 2023. Taking a look on the inside, of course, you have all of the luxury and all of the comfort that you would expect from Lexus. Power seats, 3-spoke steering wheel, power steering wheel controls for just about everything you need to do. Power windows, power door locks, traction control, memory seats. You have only 25 miles in this particular unit, so the other one has 268,000 miles. They're only separated by a few digits, a few more zeros, and this one will be there. Infotainment system is a little bit higher set on this one. Regular Lexus sound system, good old 6-speed automatic transmission, cup holders right there in the middle, and center console. Now, the older one is equipped with just a regular moonroof. The newer one is equipped with not a panoramic moonroof. Boy, just a regular old moonroof, just like the older one. Surprise, surprise. Not much difference there. Let's go ahead and hop on into the driver's seat in the 04 and take a look. Looks like we have projector beam, halogen lights versus LED lights. Well, that's a natural progression for 20 years of time. LED fog lights as well. Looks like we have halogen here, projection beam and halogen fog lights. Well, that was pretty normal for its time. Taking a look at the interior of the vehicle, you'll find a good old conservative looking Lexus steering wheel. Take a look at this, folks. 268,831 miles. If that doesn't tell you quality, I really don't know what does. A little bit different interior on this one. You have the leather seats, both the same. The controls look identical. Doesn't that look similar to just what we looked at? The leather has actually very little wear and tear for having 268,000 miles on it. The center armrests are a little bit different. On the newer one, you have a solid center armrest that actually does separate left and right, but there's no gap in the middle like this one does. This one has the retractable one. 2 cup holders up front and some storage in the middle. Doesn't that look familiar? Well, in the newer one, you don't have a lever for the high and low 4-wheel drive. You just actually have a rotary button that looks much like that. We'll jump back and take a look at that. Automatic transmission here as well. You have your navigation system. It's set and integrated actually a little bit more seamlessly in the older one. You have just a regular old moonroof in here. Wood trim on the doors, 2 seat memories, and this one did come with the optional Nakamichi sound system. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear seats. I do believe on the new one you will get a little bit additional rear passenger compartment space. This one does look a little bit more cramped, but I am just going by eyeball there. I'd have to actually look up the specs to see if that's the case. The 3rd row seat is about identical in both of them. I'm not going to take too much time showing this one just because on the other one I actually have the 3rd row seat retracted down into the floor, so it wouldn't be a fair comparison. Wouldn't spend too much time, but I can tell you that the rear seat, 3rd row seat space as far as leg room, shoulder room, headroom is about identical. They both leave something to be desired. They are very small in the rear. You can get someone, maybe a 12 or 13-year-old back there fairly comfortably. An adult, you can get there back there in a pinch, but otherwise you're not going to want to have anybody back there. One thing unique to the Lexus GX is how the hatch opens, or how the tailgate opens. They do pop out sideways. They don't pop out upwards, and that sometimes can become a problem if you are parked in a tight space and you have a car behind you. We are actually not on level ground here, so that door would have a natural need to close, but they've actually created a locking hinge over here where if you just push forward on it and push back, it actually will release it. The newer one has done something a little bit more fancy. However, not really necessary. The third row seat does go back in a little bit different fashion on the older one. The seat will actually, once you pull up on it, will actually put itself up and has a little lever right over here where you can attach it to the armrest. Now on the newer one, they actually did something a little bit more intelligent in my opinion. They have actually integrated it into the floor panel where you don't have to have this sticking up. I'm going to need both hands for just a moment there, so bear with me while I put that up. And this is how it looks when the seat is up. You are also able to lower this and get it out of the way. But unless you want to remove those seats altogether and disassemble them, you're going to have these in your way, which is also going to block a little bit of your side view window. Very little space in the back here, is just about the same in the other one. Go ahead and demonstrate. Taking a look at the back seat space and area in the 2023. In my opinion, I think you actually get a little bit more space here. I'm 6'2". I have the front seat adjusted to my position, and it may be just an illusion, but it appears like you have a little bit more space back over here. You have controls for your rear heat and AC, just like the other one. Vents for the center row, vents for the rear row, just the same as the other one as well. This running board, that step, is identical in the other unit. Obviously little touches, little things are going to be a little bit different, but for nearly 20 years of time, this vehicle really has not evolved a lot. I would say the other one, for its age, back in 2003, when that vehicle first came out, 2004, which is that one, I would say that that vehicle was pretty revolutionary and ahead of its time. It's actually fallen a little bit behind the times, I would say, and here's how this one actually locks in. You have a little lock. You could twist it to lock and unlock, and that's what would hold this hatch from closing on you if you were down gravity. Is that really a word, a down gravity? It does look like the rear hatch is a little bit higher on this one, so loading and unloading items would take a little bit more effort because you'd have to lift them up a little bit higher. This particular one does have the third row seat hidden over there, but once you bring it back up and remove this little cargo cover, they look identical. Really not much difference there, so no need to show you on this particular one. It would really be a mirror image of the other vehicle. Switching over to the passenger side, again, you notice all of the same body lines. Even the shape of the mirrors, side view mirrors, gosh, they really didn't change a whole lot, did they? Looking back over here, the door panels look identical. The storage space in the door panels look identical. Grab handles in identical spaces. Same size moonroof. And it looks like you're practically looking at a mirror. This has to be the slowest evolving vehicle in the history of automobiles. But you know, when you have something right, you have it right. No need to change it, no need to adjust it. It's perfection, and you might as well just keep it if it's working. Now Toyota tends to do that for a long time. They spend a lot of time on developing something, improving it, getting it perfect, getting it right, and then they leave it alone. I wish many other car companies would do that, and the biggest appeal to this newer one, this 2023, is that this 2023 is believed to be the last one that will have this powertrain in it. This one's equipped with a 4.6 liter V8, whereas that older one is equipped with a 4.7 liter V8. Similar displacement, similar power, everything is very similar. There is talk of it going either to a 6-cylinder with a turbo, or even a 4-cylinder with a turbo, or even a twin turbo next model year. Vehicles are going through a lot of changes here in 2023. For those of you who are car enthusiasts, car lovers, gearheads like myself, this is a sad time in history. A lot of things are changing in the automotive world, and in my opinion, not for the better. They typically will get you more efficiency, and on paper there may be a lot of advantages to what the newer ones will offer, but in real life, driving feel, driving ability, not really. That 2023 over there still has hydraulic power steering. It's one of the last vehicles still on the market that don't have electric or electric assist power steering. That, combined with a big old naturally aspirated V8, chassis on frame, true four-wheel drive, locking center diff. These things were quite common back in the day, folks, but now it is not so much, and we do give up quite a lot to go with efficiency and just basic demand. These car makers do make vehicles with the demand and their customer wants and needs in focus, and car nuts and auto enthusiasts don't always, they oftentimes go against the grain when it comes to the items that they value in the vehicle. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop me a note in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. You could also reach me down here at the lot at any time at area code 916-765-7575. Do us a special favor, if you've liked this video, please do consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel, hitting the bell notification icon to be notified of all of our future videos. We really are concentrating on our YouTube channel this year, and we cannot grow it without your help, so please do us a favor, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. We would greatly appreciate it. You can also find us 24/7, 365 days a year on our website, which is www.directauto-outlet.com. Would like to take this opportunity to thank you for investing your valuable time and joining us throughout the entirety of this video. We certainly hope to see and interact with each and every one of you in the near future. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Take care now. Bye-bye.